name is Amber Mack, and we are so excited to be back with commandN for, I guess, what we're calling a relaunch.
Yeah, kind of version 3. I'm Jeff MacArthur. We're so happy to have you guys here. We've been talking about commandN stuff for ages. Chris, especially, who's behind the camera tonight, has been saying we've got such a great community. We're absolute fools not to be serving it. So here we are. We found a new way back.
Absolutely. And we should say there may be people watching who started out with the commandN crew. So if Brian or Mikey or Rahaf or Will are watching, there's probably other people as well who've joined us along the way. Hello to all of you. And just so we can see where people are watching from, because we really want to make this a global show, let us know in the comments where you're watching from right now, because we want to make sure we hear from people from all over the world.
Yeah, so before we start, let's just tell you a little bit about what our format's going to be like, because obviously this is a bit different than commandN has been in the past. It's certainly a lot different than 15 Sec Tech was. So what we're planning on doing is at the beginning of any month, we're going to do a Facebook Live show, just like we're doing here. And we've got Laura on the comments. We're gonna see her a little bit later. And we've got a couple canned segments and we're going to do some interviews and things like that. So we're going to take this content, not the talking off the beginning or the end, but the core content and segments. We'll share them on Twitter. We'll share them on Instagram. So by all means, make sure you're here on Facebook with us, but also follow us on Twitter and Instagram, and you'll be getting some extra content there each week until the next episode comes up on Facebook Live.
Absolutely. And we do want to mention, we're going to dive into this a little bit later on, but you probably saw on social media that we have an amazing giveaway tonight. We are giving away a Google Pixelbook. We're going to talk about some of the features a little bit later on in the show and how you could have a chance to win a Google Pixelbook. Thank you so much to Google for giving us this amazing giveaway for this show. We are so excited. I've used one of these. I'll tell you my opinion later on. And we are excited to be able to have a Pixelbook for our very first giveaway on the show. It's going to be tons of fun.
Yeah, we'll give the rules and everything for that later, but we're going to go into the show with a few news pieces. And, you know, this is happening once a month, so we're not going to cover everything, but we picked a few choice stories. So, Amber, why don't you kick it off?
Yeah, absolutely. I do want to stress once more that if you're watching right now, please share the video with your friends and family, anyone interested in technology. We want to talk about 3 different stories that are really kind of hot this February. And the first one that we want to talk about is Snapchat. And this is a question, I think, for a lot of people, on people's minds. You know, who's using Snapchat? What's happening at that company? And it turns out that Snapchat just announced that they are going into the e-commerce space. So this is big news for them, and also perhaps a little bit surprising.
Yeah, so they're actually starting off just selling Snapchat branded goods on e-commerce within the site. But obviously the thinking is that they're probably going to want to expand this to other retailers and are testing the waters with selling their own goods and maybe the snap glasses kind of stuff and all that in the future. But just starting off, so we'll see where it goes. But it seems to me a bit of a strange thing for Snapchat to be doing, don't you think?
I think so as well. You know, I often have people ask me, what do you think about the future of Snapchat? And I know this is something we want to get from everyone in the comments as well, because it does seem as though they've kind of lost their way. You know, they were really the hottest company. They had so much potential, a really young and creative founder. But I would argue that in the past 6 months, we've seen them sort of grasping in certain areas to try to stay relevant and trying different things. And that just feels, in some ways, since we've been covering tech for so long, I think we can say that, it feels a bit desperate, if I can say it like that.
Yeah, they're like a social network in search of a product. So I've never been a big Snapchat fan. I've certainly tried it out and had an account for ages, but you know, the terrible user interface drove me off along with a lot of other people. So let's see what happens. But yeah, I think that's definitely one interesting thing to have going on this month. Another thing that's just surfaced, in fact, brand new news this afternoon about it, is around deepfakes. So if you aren't sure what a deepfake is, then Chris has actually got a video that he can show you, a wonderful deepfake with Nicolas Cage in it. And this is an example of the type of thing that they are doing in the deepfake community.
I won't let you move them, Admiral. I will take this to the Federation Council.
I'm acting on orders from the Federation Council.
How can there be an order to abandon the Prime Directive?
Prime Directive doesn't apply. These people are not indigenous to this planet. They were never meant to be immortal. We'll simply be restoring them to their natural evolution.
I'm going to steal the Declaration of Independence. Boom! grab a bunch, rapid fire right now.
I'm not doing rapid fire.
They will not stop until you feed them.
Not feed them? No.
Feed them. They're hungry.
I'll feed them.
So that's all well and good, but unfortunately, instead of being used as much to put Nicolas Cage in funny situations, which it's actually been used a lot for, it's being used to put movie stars' faces on porn actresses and things like that. So there's a bunch of concerns around this, one of which I think is fake news.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, people are obviously concerned about fake news right now, but if you think about the potential of some of these videos, which are essentially video fraud, then you can imagine in the future we're going to have so many issues with what is actually really fake news when you're able to essentially insert someone's head on someone else's body or words into someone's mouth. Imagine the implications when it comes to politics and governments. And I think we're going to be going into a whole other world.
Oh my gosh. And for now, the reason you're seeing this with movie stars to start off is that the technology needs a lot of different examples of people's faces to get the imaging right. And there's a link that Laura's going to post that is to an article to tell you how to tell deepfakes. And one of the ways is that the face is a bit mushy and sort of floating around, but it can be done quite convincingly, and it's very scary to think of what you think of Russian electoral interference and stuff like that. My gosh, when you can make people say completely different things in different situations, it's a little bit on the scary side.
I may or may not have a deep fake video in the works with Jeff saying some pretty interesting things. We have some comments here if you want to read this first one from Chris.
Yeah, so Chris, the few people I followed on Snapchat quit snapping, so I deleted the app. Fair enough, yeah. And also, Chris was saying deepfakes are terrible, scary potential, and Dylan Ross as well.
Yeah.
We've got people from Montreal, Waterloo, Toronto, and all over the place as well. So hi to all you guys.
And Eastern Passage, Halifax. So thank you so much for joining us today.
Right.
Jeff also says that anything that the Associated Press puts out is fake news. We're not going to debate that here tonight. But thank you so much for your comment. But I do think, like you said, this is really we're in uncharted territory, and things are going to get a little bit frightening. I think with the potential of how artificial intelligence will help people create these videos that just aren't true anymore. So maybe it means that we have to bring our friends and family even closer, and there's going to be a smaller unit of people you trust.
Yeah, and so what has happened in the news today is that deepfakes basically became popular on a subreddit, and Reddit has today closed down the deepfake subreddit. So that is that's hopefully going to help things a little bit, and we'll see where it goes from here. I'm sure people won't stop using the software, but at least there's not a central place to learn all about it now.
And we do want to read this comment from Kevin that is just coming in, and we're looking at our phones here because we have a Slack channel open. We're reading everything that Laura is moderating. So Kevin says digital fakery is close to everyone's home PC in a very short amount of time. So a bit of a concern there as far as what's happening with deepfakes. Thank you for reading that. Chris says he read about deepfakes in an awesome e-newsletter. Hopefully you're talking about my newsletter because we talked about that this week.
We did.
So anyway, it's on our minds. Keep the comments coming. Lara will keep trying to moderate. I know it's a lot going on, but that's what this show is all about.
And Amber had another story a little closer to home that's an interesting application of AI and some other things.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm just curious if for people who are watching right now, do you ever go to a restaurant and you feel as though it's really noisy and you want to have an enjoyable lunch, but that's not exactly the case? Well, it turns out that there is a new app out there that is actually using crowdsourcing to map noise levels in restaurants. So an amazing idea. And it's not just for restaurants. It could be for museums and other public places. So they actually have an audiologist and neuroscientist, I think it's one person who also has those credentials, who has come up with this idea. And basically what they're doing is creating an app so that you can mark in the app if you're in an area where it's really noisy in a restaurant or public place, and all of that data is put into a database, and you're contributing to this app on iOS and Android that will allow people to get a sense of the noise levels in different venues.
Yeah, so that's very interesting, and it's not just restaurants, as you're saying. So this is for people who may have issues with loud noises and all that, or maybe just people looking for a little quiet. There's certainly not enough quiet around in the world today, so it might be a nice way to find a secluded place to relax.
Yeah, I think it's a really awesome idea. So as always, let us know in the comments, and if you are just tuning in or just starting to watch this video, please share it with your family and friends. We want to have another long run of commandN, so we want to get the word out there. And we're going to talk about our giveaway again in a little bit, because this is the best giveaway that we've ever had on a Facebook Live. But before we get to that, speaking of noise, Laura has been on the search for a pair of decent wireless headphones that won't break the bank.
I recently found myself in the market for new wireless earbuds or headphones. I commute every day, exercise, listen to tons of podcasts as well as music, take phone calls, and am generally in a variety of situations with different noise levels. There are lots of high-tech and expensive Bluetooth wireless headphone options, but I wanted something that was good value and that I wouldn't have to be paranoid about damaging or losing. Easy-to-reach controls are also a must for our changeable weather when I often have a giant scarf wrapped around my neck or my coat zipped up all the way. I settled on inked wireless earbuds from Skullcandy, and I'm really happy with them. This style has a simple band that runs around the back of your neck and short wires connecting to the earbuds with a built-in mic. They're very lightweight and flexible, so they fit in your pocket really easily, and they're very comfortable with a counterweight that is on the other side to keep them from sliding around too much. The audio quality is good, although you won't get a ton of bass out of these, and I like that the earbuds aren't so tight in your ears that you can't hear anything going on around you. These have reliably connected immediately after the first time I paired them, and the battery lasts all week through my commutes. The controls are easy to reach and simple to understand. The center button turns them on and off, plus it answers and ends phone calls, and it's easy to feel the up and down buttons with the plus and minus symbol. With a long press, the volume buttons also double as forward and back audio skips, which is very handy when listening to podcasts. In addition to my daily commutes, I also tried them out at the gym, even though they're not the sportiest pair of inked headphones available, and they do warn that they're not waterproof. That said, for a light workout, I found that they did the job just fine. Finally, I also like that they come boxed with a second silicone pair of ear gels if you get a better fit from a smaller size. They come in black, blue, white, red, and gray, and while I've seen varying prices for these, they retail for just $50 on the Skullcandy website.
Very cool. That looks awesome.
Yeah, absolutely. And I've been looking around at them, and obviously there's the Apple AirPods and stuff like that. I'm waiting for those to have the contactless charging and all that for the next version. But yeah, if you think of, I know for my life at least, the wires on headphones are a source of constant annoyance. So certainly getting wireless on that is the way to go.
Yeah, absolutely. I actually have the Pixelbuds, so those are the new Google headphones,
cool.
Also wireless. One of the things I like about them is that they fit really nicely in your ears as well. So I think, once you've had the freedom of not having wires, you don't really appreciate it, I think, until you get rid of the wireless, the wires for your headphones. When you go wireless, you can't go back.
Oh my gosh, I just think of tying my shoes at the gym every single time, getting caught in something and then swearing out loud at the gym, and then people,
It's not good. But I will say, maybe we'll do this for our show next month, but talking about tying shoes, I just saw a video where shoes will automatically tie themselves. So we'll share that video on the commandN stream, so you can check that out. A bunch more comments coming in. There's a comment here from Jackie. I think talking about some of the past stories, saying that's pretty cool, kind of crazy how we're being tracked now. Probably concerned about that deepfake story we were talking about.
Yeah, and the dangers of in technology from Michael Musmesi. That's rated. That's in the restaurant story as well. So that's all well and good that something is listening to see how loud a place is. Well, is it recording that information? Are they sharing that? How are they storing that? So there's so many different ways that you have to think about those things today. And it's getting really hard to be in an environment where your data is not being used in some way. So we got to get pretty responsible about how we move forward on this stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. And be interesting from the app developer's standpoint in terms of what data they are collecting, and to get more information about that, I would love to know as well. So we are going to talk a little bit again about the giveaway. Yeah. And in just one second, we're going to show you a video. And before we get to that video, I just want to say that this is the Google Pixelbook. We'll talk about the features in the video that Google has done. Laura's going to drop a link into the comments area, and we'll get to that a little bit later as far as how you can enter for this giveaway that we are having this month. It's going to be awesome. But first, let's take a look at the features of the Google Pixelbook.
So
Looks awesome.
That's pretty amazing. I definitely am interested in one of those. I actually thought when I came here I might get to use it, but of course it's still all boxed up and waiting for the winner. So you're probably wondering, how can you win that thing? Well, Laura's put up a link to the commandN Pixelbook Giveaway. The rules are basically that you need to be in the US or Canada outside of Quebec. You need to be 18 years old. And you need to be following commandN on one of her social media channels. There's a few questions you have to enter in the form that you apply for on Amber's site there in the commandN Google Pixelbook Giveaway. So you fill in all that information and submit it. We'll get copies of those, and we'll be collecting them up until the end of the month, and we'll be notifying somebody in a couple weeks after that. So if you guys want to enter, just go to the link that you see there and fill out the form, and you'll be entered, and we'll be talking about the winner on our next episode.
Yeah, so pretty easy. And just a plug for myself, when you click that box to get occasional emails from us, that's to email you if you potentially won, but also if you would like to sign up for my newsletter, if you haven't already, that's one good way to do so. So good luck to everyone. Now, next up, we are going to chat with Laura, who's joining us on Skype. Hi, Laura.
Hi, can you guys see me okay?
Yeah, we can see you just great.
You look great, and you sound great. So thank you so much for joining us. I know we're going to talk about all those different streaming shows. Jeff and I were kind of comparing notes on different shows as far as what we've been watching here in Toronto in our house. But just want to say it's exciting to be back together again. It's been...
I can hardly believe it.
I know, right? It's been a fun few days, and we're not freezing outside.
Well,
that is definitely a bonus.
When in the week.
Say. Good point. Yeah, it's been snowing here in Halifax. There's a nice little cover of snow on the ground.
Yeah, so we're excited to be hosting this together here. We're going to get Laura up hosting sometime, or do some live shows from PEI or Halifax or some other places we're at. But we're going to talk a little bit about this in this segment about the streaming video content each of us are watching nowadays. And there's been some fun stuff just come out. I started watching The Toys That Made Us actually on the plane ride up here on Netflix. I downloaded it, and that is like pretty central geek culture stuff there. It's talking about Star Wars toys. I think there's an episode on Barbie, an episode on He-Man, and an episode on G.I. Joe. So some really fun trivia there, and that series is on Netflix.
Very cool. Laura, what have you been watching?
Well, I have to say I have really been enjoying The Man in the High Castle on Amazon Prime. That's just the coolest reimagining of the future based on the Philip K. Dick story. You know, what would have happened if the Nazis had won and taken over the United States and, you know, shared it with Japan. So that's super interesting. I also I have a new guilty pleasure. It's not a new thing, but The Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt. I just started watching, and it is so entertaining. I can hardly believe. It's just super fun. Tina Fey is one of the creators, and I'm really enjoying that.
And if you're on Amazon Prime, another thing I've discovered trolling through there is it has the first 2 seasons of ALF on it. And if any of you are approaching my age, ALF is kind of a fundamental sitcom. It is surprisingly funny. The only thing about it that has aged, well, the biggest thing about it that has aged terribly is the super happy intro music, which is just completely out of place in anything I've seen today. But other than that, the show is pretty impressive. It still holds up.
I just want everyone watching, and Laura as well, to you in Halifax, to know that when we were talking about doing this segment, Jeff came up to me and he sort of had this sympathetic look on his face, and he said, you know, I know it's going to be hard for you to contribute to this segment because you basically have no life and you never have time to watch anything streaming. And I said, no, I watched a streaming episode in the past few months, which was my next guest needs no introduction, the new David Letterman show, the interview with Barack Obama. Laura, you've seen that as well. Did you like that episode?
I thought it was really good. I thought they did a great job with the camera angles, with the setup and the intro, people not knowing who was coming on. Like, that was very cool. It's great to see David Letterman in this completely new look that he is going on. And they did a great job, I think, just chatting and just trying to keep it real. And it's nice to hear a presidential figure who's so well-spoken and just presents himself so well. So I thought it was really good. Yeah.
And I think there's can't remember who the guest is this month, but there's another episode coming out.
I think it's George Clooney, if I'm correct.
I think you're right, yeah.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's George Clooney. I haven't had a chance to watch it, but I thought it was a little odd in terms of the release schedule. It doesn't seem to be very frequent, versus on Netflix, oftentimes they're releasing all the shows at once. So I thought that was a little odd. But nonetheless, I think there's lots of great content out there, and it's a good opportunity for people in the comments to let us know what you're watching and loving.
And where are you watching it? What are you streaming from? Is it,
which
Hulu?
service are you using? Yeah.
Indeed. One other thing that it would remiss not to mention, if there's any Douglas Adams fans out there, the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy author, I don't know if many of you have actually read Dirk Gently's Holistic Detective Agency. I did, and I was blown away by how good the Netflix series is on it. It is just pitch perfect. It is so bizarre and entertaining. It's not for everyone, but if you're curious and you like the Hitchhiker's Guide kind of quirky stuff, this isn't set in space or anything, but it's pretty bizarre.
Way to alienate half of our viewers. This is like a really geeky show. When you watch a show called commandN and we start talking about these topics, we're going into the geek underworld. I think that's probably why we want to kind of do the show.
Absolutely.
But Laura, I feel like there's going to be a lot of comments. You're probably having anxiety right now because there are people leaving comments.
Because I'm not reading them all while I talk to you.
I know. So we should probably let you go and get back to the show. But any final words? Just looking forward to our next episode.
Yeah, totally am. This is great to be back. I also have been really enjoying the Dirk Gently show. It's fantastic, super quirky and fun, and looking forward to talking about lots more geek stuff with you guys the next time.
Awesome. Okay, we'll see you soon and see you in the comments.
Okay.
Okay, so we should probably just jump to a couple comments that have come in just so people know that we're still watching here. So I will do this one. Jeff Garlick says, don't use wireless, but my Beats are with me everywhere. And Jackie Mann has a comment there if you want to grab that one, Jeff.
Also, Jeff Garlick, I thought you just left Facebook this morning. So did you come back just for us?
He did.
Jeff is a super fan and has been around for ages, so that's awesome to hear. Jackie Mann, it's also good now that battery life for phones are lasting longer too. So using Bluetooth, you don't have to worry about the phone's battery life. Yeah, or the earphone's battery life. So you've got two things eating up battery there. Chris McLaughlin's asking, which streaming service has Monty Python's Flying Circus? I don't know about the series, but I've definitely seen a couple of the movies, I think, on Netflix, but that'd be great to see. So if anyone in the comments actually knows where you can catch the original Monty Python Flying Circus series, post a link for us or let people know.
Yeah, so lots more comments coming in. We are going to catch up with everyone in the comments while we take a look at this next video. So it looks like Jeff has been trying to get healthy, and this is a pretty cool wireless smart scale review.
Healthy living tech has exploded in recent years, and companies like Cardio are really taking advantage of this trend. I've been trying out their Cardio Base wireless smart scale, and I've found it a really handy way to keep track of my weight, BMI, body fat, and more. The circular scale looks great, it's a bit over a foot across, and it's available in black or white to go with your decor. Setup involves downloading the Cardio app to set up your scale, which can use Bluetooth or Wi-Fi to wirelessly track your results, and after a few uses, the scale will automatically detect who's stepping on it, so that you don't even have to specify your name to save your results. You can see your weigh-in history displayed in graph or calendar form in the app, and each user can set weight loss goals and reminders for themselves, add notes to go along with their measurements, and there's even a pregnancy mode for moms-to-be. The app is available for Android and Kindle and also nicely integrates with Apple Health if you're using iOS. Our only complaint that we have in our house is that it'd be nice to have some privacy settings so that all your weigh-ins aren't shared with everybody else who uses the scale. And Cardio says they are in fact working on this. The new Cardio Base 2 retails for around $200, and since it was only released a few months ago, you might be able to find the original Cardio Base for a steal. Check out more details, including related products in the cardio ecosystem, like their smart blood pressure monitor and ECG at getcardio.com. Yeah, they've got a bunch of cool products, actually. They've got a crazy thing that straps over your chest that relates to the Cardio Base and their the blood pressure monitor and stuff like that. So it's really neat to see how we're using technology, not just for medical advances in hospital settings and stuff like that, but at home, it's gone just crazy what you can do.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm always excited about all of the health tech stuff that's going on. We're going to get to another health tech segment in just a second, but a quick reminder about our giveaway for the Google Pixelbook. Again, you need to fill out the link that Laura has dropped into the comments in terms of all of the rules and how to enter. It's really, really simple. We encourage you to do so, and you could be one of the winners that we're going to announce in a few weeks. And again, the Google Pixel is an awesome giveaway. Thank you to Google as well.
Yeah, the Pixelbook looks just amazing. Jackie Mann, yes, definitely check it out. If you like Hitchhiker's Guide, you'll probably like this. And Chris McLaughlin, is it weird I've never used my Netflix or Crave TV or Amazon Prime or any other streaming services? I'll tell you what, aside from my Apple TV, I got a new 4K television set that has a better built-in, it's one of the big LG OLED ones. Yeah. And it's got some built-in apps that are great. And I was surprised and a bit pleased at how, for instance, the Netflix app is better on the TV interface than the Apple TV interface. Amazon Prime is sort of touch and go. But check out the services on some different devices, and you can see there's actually differences in the interface and how you interact that make meaningful differences to it. So check that out for sure.
Yeah, thanks for your comment, Chris and Jeff and everybody who's in the comments right now. We'll try to catch up with the rest of them later on. But since Jeff had a chance to share his healthy tech, I have a video that is just released where I use my Google Home for some pretty cool 5-minute exercises.
Hi, I'm Amber Mack. If I only have 5 minutes to work out, I like to use my Google Home Mini for a quick 5-minute plank. Here's how it works. Okay, Google, start the 5-minute plank.
Welcome to 5-minute plank workout. Take a push-up position and say ready to start.
Ready.
First exercise, full plank. 3, 2, 1. 3, 2, 1. 10 seconds rest.
There are a few different variations of the plank in this 5-minute workout, and it's pretty challenging. There are a few
Not now, Rusty.
There are a few different variations of the plank in this 5-minute workout, and trust me, it's pretty challenging.
I have to apologize if I set off your Google Home while you're watching this, because that does happen, and you do not have to do the plank, but that is hard for 5 minutes, different plank exercises.
So they give you a break in the middle, like you take
10 seconds.
And so how long do you have to plank for?
Well, some of them are minutes, some of them are 30 seconds. It's sort of variations of the plank, but trust me, it's not easy after 5 minutes.
And you do when you start doing the plank, when you're just warming up on it and getting used to it, you can pop around an awful lot while you're doing it.
It's not easy at all. So if you only have 5 minutes and you do have a Google Home or Google Home Mini, it's a great little exercise.
And great core exercise for people sitting at desks all day and stuff like that.
And people don't realize what you can do with some of these smart speakers like Google Home. So I think it's fun, as I've been learning over the past few months.
I've been doing trivia and a whole bunch of other things.
Some amazing stuff.
So thanks so much, everyone, for joining us. Thanks, everyone who's been a commandN fan since we started in 2005, everyone who's joined us since then. Like we said, Brian and Mikey and Will and Rahaf and all our other commandN co-conspirators, Chris Campbell, I forgot about Chris, and there's been so many over the years. We're going to get those cats back on here. We're going to talk with them, and we'd like to interact with you guys as much as we can too. So again, leave comments about what you'd like to see. You got an idea of the format that we're doing here, what you'd like us to talk about. And this show will be changing and evolving over time. So hopefully you'll join us and help to shape it.
And we are so excited, like Jeff said, to be back, and we really appreciate all of your support. So keep watching, keep sharing this commandN Facebook page and the video and everything. So share with other people as well.
And you can go to commandN.tv. It's just forwarding now, but you can see all the content there. We're going to be building a new site for that, so that will be updated, the forwarding. But for now, if you want a central place to go, you can still type in the old commandN.tv. It'll take you to Amber's site, show you the links for our Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, and all the other accounts.
And just one last comment from Kevin, says, love Google Home Mini. And the coach, he says, awesome way to keep in shape. Thanks for the laugh. Rusty, I don't want to say it too loud because he's been very quiet below the table. Yes. If I say his name, he's going to go crazy. We promised we'd keep this to half an hour. So since it is Valentine's Day and February is all about a month of love, we wanted to leave you with this fun video, a cool gift for Valentine's Day, the Love Box Spinning Heart Messenger. We'll see you
next
soon.
month.
Bye.
I was thinking about the last time that I saw you with your head in the clouds, stepping over rainbows, playing pinball with the stars.
We really want to build a bridge between technology and happiness.